Sean Porter, Adrien the Problem Broner. Okay, I've had several requests to break this fight down, even in its early infant stages of being announced. Well, it's not officially announced, but it has been publicly exposed that this fight is going down June 20th, MGM Grand, Las Vegas, Nevada. All right. First and foremost, what I'm going to start off with is the intangibles. After I introduce myself, my name is Eric Bradley. They call me the Fight Doctor, and I thank you guys for watching the show. And you're watching Master Boxing. And this is where we break the fight world down every week, round by round. From the intricate details of the fight game to just the basic introductory inside the ring, behind the ropes, and behind the scenes. This is what we do here. So, I'm going to break this fight down matchup wise. First you want to do is put the intangibles behind you, right in front of you, directly in front of you, so you can understand what the fight is going to have. What will be the elements and the substance of this fight? Well, first and foremost, one thing you can do is you can do the basics. Who's more fundamentally sound? Who depends more on their fundamentals than just basically their natural talent? And when you think about that, you look at guys like Adrien Broner, who has a natural boxer style, regardless if he tries to be a boxer puncher. His style is formidable to be a boxer because, for one thing, he can't do what he was doing at 147 like he was trying to do earlier. He can't go in there and try to bang with these 147ers. Lesson learned by fighting Marcos Maidana. These are the things that you have to think about when you're breaking the analysis down. Because Adrien Broner is a skilled boxer. The guy he mentors himself after is the best boxer on the planet. He can bring 73% of what Mayweather can do to the ring. And that's being fair, because I believe when he utilizes his legs, he can be a 73% of Mayweather. Sturdy, stable. He's training in DC. And let me tell you something about the East Coast, because the West Coast, ever since 2000 and maybe one, I've been a big fan of the way that the West Coast fighters train. I train my fighters, in a style very systematically. And the West Coast fighters train in the same type system. Lots of drills, lots of skill development. So a lot of those guys are polished. So when you look at guys like Adrien Broner, now he's fighting on the East Coast. And let me explain something to you guys out west about the East Coast and in the UK and all these. In the East, or on the East Coast, one thing that had been missing is a lot of skill development. They don't, for the most part, spend as much time on individual fighters as they should. When you come to our camp, and trust me, I'm not anywhere as active as I was before, but I am about to get back into that format. But what I did is I made it Olympic style. I train fighters' legs, and if you watch any of my shadow boxing, understanding that I really take onus on getting around the rings, because you don't box with your hands, you box with your feet. Utilizing and understanding every inch of that ring. So there's drills for each one of those. Each one of those obstacles that you want to execute, you have to have the skills set and the drill sets to do. I've written books. You can go out to www.masterboxingllc.com and you can see how the breakdowns of skills and skill teachings are. And we keep those things up the forefront, because it's important to a fighter, because fighting is a serious game. That's why it's so much onus put on developing a fighter the right way. Adrien Broner was in a rush before. But I'm going to get back to the difference in the East Coast and the West Coast style. You got good guys out there who develop their fighters right, like John Brown, and created array of just DVDs to show guys. That's one of the first places that Roger Mayweather was exposed, showing his skill set with the mid set. And they have a lot of other coaches that got a chance to, show their ring cachet as well, because these guys are very schooled. And out on the East Coast, the fighters, you go on the east side, you go in the gym, you learn some stuff, but you get thrown in there fast. And the way you learn is you get baptized by fire over here on the East Coast. But in my facility where I train my fighters with Olympic coach Anthony Bradley, like I said, we have formidable heavyweight champions, middleweight champions come through here. The way we did it, they always gave us credibility that we were the most technical, skilled gym that they had ever been a part of. I know that because I put onus on that. I teach and I'm an educator. I'm not just a coach. I can coach you through the situation, but when it's said and done, I'm an educator. And I make sure you leave with a PhD in boxing. Physiology is my study. Boxing is my science. I live it every ounce of the day. So, like I said, you look at these guys. Adrien Broner, the point I was making is Adrien Broner trains in D.C. And in D.C., they have more of Virginia, D.C. have more of the East Coast, the teachings. You got Barry Hunter and those guys out there who do a very good job. You can look at Lamont Peterson and look at how skilled he is in boxing. It's not just natural ability. You get really taught. You're taught the sweet science out there. So when you look at those fighters in Sweet Pea, Virginia, you come over here and you box on the East Coast and you go to Virginia and you box, you're going to have a lot of problems. You're going to get schooled a lot. Philadelphia, like I said, learns more or less. You get thrown in a dungeon, and that's kind of what it is on the East Coast. The variety is, it's within that bracket. But Adrien Broner's been training in the real dog pound and the real dog house. Like I said, was started on the East Coast, and it's spread out west, where the Mayweather Boxing Club, you guys hear about that, but it started over here. And you can believe me, if you come to the East Coast, you'll understand why, especially on a good day. It goes down in there in the dungeon. So Adrien Broner's been training right, and these are the things that's important, because he has a good jab. He punches like he's a single shot shooter, and those shots are accurate. Sean Porter is more of a bull. Adrien Broner in his last fight against Molina, he played Matador. The fight wasn't that exciting, but he hit him clean a lot of times, just like Pacquiao and Mayweather. The fact of the matter is, Adrien Broner looks up to Mayweather, and he was envious of that event. Not saying he was jealous. He's not jealous because he loves Mayweather. He loves to see him perform. He just wanted that same thing. So I see it clear that he wanted a big fight. He didn't want to fight another guy without a huge name. Sean Porter is a big fight name. So everybody in the fight game knows Sean Porter. You got to look at Adrien Broner and say, hey, he's the real deal. He called Amir Khan out right on the spot. And, I think Robert Guerrero stepped to him and he, was like, hey, you can get it. But later for you, I want a big name that bring big dollars. Adrien Broner's thinking. And I think right now, without further ado, what he'll have to do is he'll have to slay the bull, because Marcos Maidana and Sean Porter are very similar in a lot of ways. They come forward, they throw awkward punches. Sean Porter's more of a bulldozer, but like I said, you can stop the bully. All you have to do is pull out the cape. They're not hard to beat. You just got to be conditioned. And in DC, he's conditioned. If he was training in Cincinnati or out there at the Olympic Training Center out in Kansas City, out there, Kansas, I would not give him the nod, because I knew he wouldn't bring the legs in that fight. But I know he's going to bring the legs in that fight. And anyone's watching this post and you know that you wanted to see the breakdown, and let's get cut through the chase. I'm a guy that I used to spend 18 hours or better in the gym every day. I came home and took the shower and a nap, and I was back up at 4 a.m. back to 11 p.m., 12 a.m. So you don't talk that talk to me. They don't call me the fight doctor because, you know, I think it's a cool name. They call me the fight doctor because I got a PhD in a fight game. So don't get it twisted because I got, you know, a channel. The pedigree is all there. The resume is there. Do the homework. But I think for the most part, you know, Adrien Broner should handle his business. And believe me, listen to me, I sat in the gym, I worked with fighters, I trained with fighters, I sparred with fighters to get them ready for this type thing, these kind of events. Sean Porter does not utilize boxing skill like he used to prior to fighting Diaz. And that's Julio Diaz. He started becoming a bully, and that takes away from your boxing skill set, but you're more dependent on it. Now he wants to run straight up the middle. And you can bully guys like Paulie Malignaggi that don't have punching power, but Adrien Broner can punch. And they say, oh, well, he need to stay out of 147. No, he need to stay out of 147 playing. But I know for sure he wants that light and he wants that shine like Mayweather has. So if you look at it, you got to think about it like this. How does it break down? Better jab, better straight right, better hook. When I say better, I mean I'm more efficient, higher punch percentage. And he will be able to control distance better. No, he's not tall, so he can't control Sean Porter like he was controlled in his first loss. Special K handled him. You know, he's longer. He's more of a, you know, sizier guy. You know, if he was a football player, he'd be a middle linebacker. You know, in the welterweight division. But when it's said and done, Adrien Broner will weather the storm. Now, if he gets in there and plays, that weight difference, because Sean Porter will come in there at 162, 163, maybe even 165, because the boy walks around thick. He's just a thick little, you know, Zach Thomas middle linebacker kind of fighter. So whenever he gets in that fight with Adrien Broner, his objective is to close the distance. If he can close the distance, he has a chance to win the fight. He won't knock Adrien Broner out. Adrien Broner is going to box, but he better protect that chin strap. You believe me, because that hook that Sean Porter got is real. But when you saw his last fight, you know, he looked subpar. He came away and got out of that fight. But, you know, if you play the game Matador and box his lights out and use your legs, that's all he has to do. And like I said, he training on the East Coast in D.C. So for those who don't know about it, you know, I just told you. And if you want to come out here, come out here. Test it out. See the waters. Even if you don't fight, you're invited. From North Carolina to Virginia, Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore, Maryland, D.C., Philly, East Coast. Just come out here and test the waters. Because the West Coast, I know what they do. Like I said, very school fighters. They call me the fight doctor, and I thank you guys for watching, sincerely. Go out there and check out the website, www.masterboxingllc.com. It's hot, so that's all I can tell you. And like I said, you're watching Master Boxing, and this is where we break the fight world down, round by round. Stay tuned for the post that I'm going to do about why Adrien Broner got this fight. That's coming up tonight right behind this one. So be sure to check that out as well. Al Heyman